Alrighty, so in the past we've checked out gaming computers on OfferUp, eBay, and Craigslist. Now the final piece to the puzzle is Amazon, so we're going to be checking out some gaming computers on Amazon. Now Amazon's not like the other ones where normal people could sell them, you know, like me, but it's still a site where you could get ripped off. You could buy a computer that looks good, that looks expensive, but it's really only worth like $400, $500. And that happens very commonly since it's Amazon. You know, it's a big company, so people will assume that it's automatically a good product. The products may come from CyberPowePC, iBuyPower, or other companies like Skytech or some other ones that I keep forgetting. But this should be interesting. We're going to look at some gaming PCs and we're going to see if they're worth it. Alright, let's jump right into it. Alrighty, jumping right on in, we're going to search for gaming PC, not gaming OC, PC. Let's look at the first one right off the bat. Okay, so CyberPowePC Gamer Extreme VR, all that. Intel Core i5 8400, decent. 8 gigs of RAM, GeForce GTX 1060, 3 gigs. I'm already seeing some red flags here. First of all, the GTX 1060, good card, but the 3 gig, and then only the 8400, it's not the 8600K, and only 8 gigs of RAM. For this price, I think you could do a lot more with it. This looks like a good computer, but for around like a $600-700 price range, they're charging $830 for it, plus shipping, plus tax. I just don't see this being a very good option for this price. Sure, you get a lot of RGB, which is probably what's gonna appeal to most people, but look at the processor, even the cooler, it's the standard Intel cooler. This processor is not overclockable, so you probably won't be able to do much with it besides the standard stuff. But still, it says nothing about what motherboard you're getting, which graphics card exactly. It's the 3 gig, the 1060, but it doesn't say, you know, if it's an MSI graphics card, Asus. They should all work the same, but either way, you should at least get some of that information. 120 gig SSD and a 1TB hard drive. A 120 gig SSD is not very expensive, and a 1TB hard drive is like $40. So total it's like 60, 70 between those two. The 1060, I'm not sure how much they cost. The 1060 3 gig is about $230, something like that. So, okay, it's about $300. Processor, I don't see this being anywhere near $830. I mean, it is what it is. You're getting it pre-built, so you're paying that price. It's already built, it's all ready to go. So as soon as you get it, you just need to plug it in, set it up in terms of your account and stuff like that, and you should be good to go. And you do get warranty, so that's another thing. But I think for this computer in particular, it would be a better option if you just go and build it yourself. And then you could change some of the parts. Let's look at another one. Oh, this one's even worse, I think. For $300 more, $1150, it comes with a 1060 3 gig. Still, 3 gigs. 120 gig SSD plus 1TB hard drive, that's still the same. The only difference between this one is that it has 8 more gigs of RAM and an i7 8700. It's not the K version, so it's not overclockable. It still comes with the standard Intel cooler, at least not a better air cooler. The graphics card actually looks like the one I have. That looks like an MSI graphics card, but it's the 1060 3 gig. I have the 1070, so once again, the processor, how much is it? Like 300, 330 around there for that non-overclockable one. 16 gigs of RAM at the moment is about $80, I believe. And then the 1060, the hard drives, Windows 10 Home, this shouldn't be more than $600-700 in parts alone. It's like if you're paying a good $400 for them to build it and give you warranty and for the case. So far, this is a little worse than I thought. I thought Amazon was going to be decent, but no. And they've both been from CyberPowePC. Let's try to look at an iBuyPower one or Skytech. Let's look at this one. Okay, 1050 Ti for this price. Okay, doable. I would imagine a 1060 3 gig to be around this price, but it's fine so far. FX 6300, so they're using one of the older processors, an AMD processor, with 1050 Ti, 8 gigs of RAM, 1TB hard drive, Windows 10. No, I think this one's also a bit overpriced. So in the computer I currently have, the other one, the one I'm building, the one that I transformed, that one has an A10 7700K with a GTX 1050 Ti, but that one you could build it for around $400, $450, maybe even less. And so far this one is about $300 more than that. I believe this processor is not as good as the the A10 770K, 7700K. I could be wrong on that. It's also 3.5 gigahertz. They might be very similar. Also 8 gigs of RAM, 1TB hard drive. This one doesn't have an SSD. I mean, it's easy to sell them probably to someone who doesn't have much experience with it. I mean, even mine has a different cooler. It doesn't even have the standard AMD cooler. At least the power supply is from Thermaltake. It's a reputable brand. It's not Diablo tech or anything like that, but you see some mustard cables. The cable management isn't the best. That's because the case doesn't really allow for good cable management. Standard case fans, mine has some RGB in there. Zotac graphics card, which isn't bad probably, but I mean, you're paying more than you should for a computer like this one. Yeah, you're paying a lot more than you should for a computer like this one. That's already 3 computers down, 3 that I'm not very satisfied with. Let's look at this one. This one's very expensive. It's from CyberPowePC. It has an overclockable, they put overclockable here. 8700K NVIDIA GeForce GTX RTX 2070, 8 gigs, a lot more modern. Z370 motherboard, 16 gigs of RAM, 1TB hard drive, 240 gig SSD, $1,500 for this. Of all of them, I would say this is probably, well, it is the best in terms of specifications. It even comes with a liquid cooler with dual fans on the back here, push-pull. It has some RGB elements to it, some RAM. You can't see the RAM modules here for some reason. They use like some blank ones. But for these specifications, you could probably build this for around $1,200. But compared to the other ones, this is probably the best priced one. And then it comes with an RTX graphics card and an 8700K, 16 gigs of RAM. At least parts are more suited for modern games. And then a 240 gig SSD. You could probably fit in a 500 gig SSD here and still be below this $1,500 price. But once again, you're getting a warranty, you're getting it pre-built, so they're building it for you. I think you should be good with this one. But in order to get a good deal like this, in order to not be overspending by a lot, you have to get an expensive computer. So if you're on a budget, it might be a little bit tougher for you. Oh, I was about to say, this is just the case, so I thought it was like an actual computer for $100. This will be the last one I look at. HP Pavillion. So it's not from CyberPowePC, it's from HP. And normally their gaming brand is Omen, but this is HP. So let's see what it has. It has an AMD Ryzen 3 2200G, an AMD Radeon RX 550, 8 gigs of RAM, 1TB hard drive, Windows 10. This processor is good for this price, but I would expect something like a modern, like a 1050 Ti, something like that. I'm not sure what this graphics card is. Okay, so the video graphics is an RX 550 4 gig. Okay, so it should be this one. Maybe not this card exactly, but it should be 4 gigs, low profile, something like that. From the budget ones we saw, this is probably the best one in terms of specifications. You don't see any pictures of the inside, probably for a reason. It's probably super messy in there with mustard cables. Cable management is not going to be very good, and the cooler is probably the standard AMD cooler that comes with the processor. The graphics card, once again, is not very good looking. 8 gigs of RAM, probably not branded or anything, and a 1TB hard drive. If everything works properly, this one should be very good. And it should be the best budget one that we've seen so far. But you have to take the risk. Are the components good quality? Either way, you get HP service. Not sure if it's very good, but you get HP warranty. You get a keyboard and mouse. You get a budget computer. But as always, I would support building one. If you have the option to build one, go for it. Even if you don't know how, it's a lot of fun. And you could always find tutorials everywhere. They're all over the place. You might even watch one of my videos and learn how to do something you didn't know before. So that's going to be it for the video, guys. Please tell me in the comment section below if you enjoy this. Tell me also if there's another website you would want me to check out. Maybe Best Buy. I don't know about that one. Best Buy, Target, Walmart. Also make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.